see that front end doing work as he gets out of the short course into the desert. Biggest difference on that IFS car is you can see that when it hit those rocks, it's only one tire reacting at a time. That allows them to get that extra speed out there in the dirt.
Two, 3, 4, 55 for the 1014 of Jeremy Eland. Putting him in 7th spot so far.
See him coming off that ledge. Good line, picking up lots of speed back into the desert. And Travis Cook is off the line. Charging hard up that tabletop. Nice. So Brittany and I will be with you for most of the day, talking 4,400 qualifying. So while we're trucks go through the desert here and have fun on the short course, Brittany, are you ever going to get behind the wheel of one of these cars and do some racing?
It definitely sounds fun. Right now, you know, just got done racing our 1600 car, building a 10 car. So right now doing a little desert stuff, but hopefully one day I'll get behind one of these Ultra 4s for sure.
I could see like a fab school build-off, like a fab school build car. That'd be lots of fun.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, well, that magic number that Brittany and I have been talking about all morning has just been broken. We have our first sub 2-minute run. Jason Blanton, sorry, at 1:59.66. You can see that car was working out there too. Next car off the line, 4441 of Darren Henke. Airing it out on that tabletop. You can see in the picture on your screen, you can see we got one car in the short course while another car heads into those Jeep proving grounds. Basically 2 cars on the course because there's so many people here to qualify. I mean, if you're into off-roading and you're not here, I don't know where else you'd want to be right now.
Ian, we have 108 people scheduled to qualify today.
How many people?
108.
108 4,400 cars, well, 2 non-44, 106 4,400 cars qualifying for the Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. That is a huge field to get out just today to qualify, and then more importantly to get out and race on Friday. That's a lot of cars in the desert. Kenneth Goodall off the line, 77.79.
Travis Cook just crossed the finish line with a 2:22.73, top 10 for the day, 7th place. Ian, it looks like we have a new time to beat.
We do. We have Darren Henke crossing the line at 1:54.61. These sub 2 minute, we thought we'd have to wait until power hour to see a sub 2 minute run, but no. These guys are ticking it off out there, probably because I think the wind's picked up. clearing that air out in front of these cars, they're able to push them just a little bit faster. We saw it last night, just driving out to that shootout. I couldn't see 5 feet in front of the Jeep.
Clean air is everything out here behind the wheel.
Rollin McGee in the 222 car. Take a shit. As you see him tear through that short course on the wide shot, you can see exactly how many people are here. They guess about 60,000 people come out to Johnson Valley for King of the Hammers so far this year. I've driven in, that feels like more. When I was flying in, Brittany, I was trying to see it from the sky, but I never got to see it. I think you could see it in the plane.
Absolutely. You know, just seeing this grow over the years is amazing.
See that 222 car making quick work of that desert. Heading up into those Jeep proving grounds, throwing it into the rocks. That climb is going to get harder and harder and harder all day, especially since there's no time.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually having a little trouble.
I think he's just digging it out a little bit for the next guy.
Kenneth Goodall coming out with a 22174.
We've got the 222 car stopped on course. I think he looks like he might not have four-wheel drive on that front end right now. If he can make that climb and get back out of the rocks into the desert, that won't be an issue, and then he'll have some work to do. He's clear of that rock section for now, and if he can pick up a little bit of time in the desert, he's not going to be a top qualifier, but he'll have a little bit of work to do when he gets back to the lake bed and be ready to race on Friday. .9901 off the line. You can hear that engine screaming. Those IFS cars are just so fast in that first section, Brittany.
Watching them in the infield is awesome. Talking to a few of these people this morning, up and early, as they're practicing their qualifying run, a lot of the drivers said that the infield is their favorite.
You can really see him as he breaks out of the short course and into the desert. You can see the suspension just working on the front of that car. It's up into those Jeep proving grounds. That looks like it's going to be a fast run. It's got to drop down that ledge there, got a good bounce. The IFS cars seem to do well off that because they can just soak up those landings off those ledges.
Our time to beat is 1:54.61. Will he do it?
That is a fast time. Off the line, gingerly. There we go, now he's got it. 44.03, Trevor Foltz. As we were saying before, Brittany, 60,000 people here, and they're all not racers. There's a lot of people here who just come to watch, and it's not as hard as you think to do. You can come, rent an RV, camp on the lake bed. You can even stay in town. They put me up in town because, you know, my spiked hair doesn't like the desert as much as some people. But I have stayed out here in an RV before. It's great. It's a great time, don't you think?
Absolutely. You know, there's people that come from all across the country, internationally as well, just to come out here and watch King of the Hammers.
At the shootout last night, I was parlez-vous in Francais with a little bit of a guy. Oh, we have a rollover on the short course. those corners get tricky when you go into them a little hot. We'll have a little break in action here as we get him off the course. Yes, I was talking last night to a magazine guy from France who was all the way here. I got to practice some of my French on him. Well, I speak French, Brittany. Come on. Parlez-vous français? Moi? Oui, un peu. That's where it ends right there. All right, guys, we're going to take a short little break here on the live feed while they clear the course. Be sure to come back and make sure you can watch the rest of qualifying Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima.
We know what we can do. Now, it's time for the world to see.
Welcome back, everyone, to the live feed from the Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima. We are deep into the 4,400 qualifying today. We got a rollover on the short course that sort of put a stall to our racing, but they're recovering it right now, and then we'll get the next car off the line shortly.
While we wait, I want to remind you guys, KMC is giving away this Hard Charger Award for each class that's racing out here this week. Right now, Darren Hankey's holding the hot seat for this with his fastest time, 1:51.61. Whoever wins this Hard Charger Award, KMC will be paying their entry fee.
I got to say, I'm pretty impressed so far the qualifying. We did not think we'd see a sub 2-minute run this early in the race, but those guys are ticking it off out there and getting it done. This is going to be a great day of 4,400 qualifying for Friday's big race.
Just barely.
All right, we are next off the line, number 553. Darren Krebs back. Charging into that short course. That short course claimed a couple victims today. It's kind of easy to get excited when you get into that dirt for the first time qualifying. You want a good spot for Friday, you can push it hard, and it seems to be that last corner that's eating them up, don't you think, Brittany? He comes out of it clean, though, and into the desert. quick work of that, and then deep into the Jeep proving grounds. First little taste of rocks on this qualifying course. Seen a couple guys have a little bit of trouble up there, but he seems to be going through it pretty clean. Down those stair steps, and then it'll be back into the desert. Car off the line, Stan Haynes. Those of us who have been spending time building a lot of these cars know that name well. Stan makes a lot of great products for everyone in Ultra 4 racing. You can see as he enters those Jeep proving grounds past those ARB flags into the rock. ARB is actually doing a fastest 40, so it's the fastest time up the rocks in between those ARB flags. The winner is going to get a 40 spline ARB, because as we all know, Brittany, the more splines the better, right? I remember when like 33 spline was good, but I'm an old man.
Not anymore.
All right, Stan dropping down those stair steps and into the desert. All right, you can't see it, but we got a rollover on the backside of Means Butte, so we're gonna have a little bit of a hold up here while they get that cleared off the course. All right, we got a replay of that rollover for you guys. You can see he just got into that desert a little hot. He's got clipped on that front end. You can see as he came in, just got off the line. That's all it takes.
You know, Ian, this is one of the reasons why we qualify so early in the week. It gives these guys time to get back to their pits and get their vehicles back and up and ready for the green flag.
And that's another. All right, guys, while we deal with that recovery on course, I hope you're enjoying the action. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back shortly.
Some say there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Sure, unless you can make it better. All tires aren't created equal. The Nitto Ridge Grappler. Spiral wound construction enables our truck tires to be aggressive and ride incredibly smooth. Our tread and sidewall designs deliver off-road performance for even the most demanding terrain, while computer-simulated tread design delivers a quiet and comfortable ride on the highway. The Ridge Grappler goes beyond expectations. Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts.
We didn't just test the new Optima Yellow Top with PureFlow technology. We tortured it. King of the Hammers is 181 battery-killing miles of relentless, unforgiving hellishness. It's one thing to call yourself the ultimate power source. It's another thing to prove it. The all-new Optima Yellow Top with pure flow technology with up to 3 times the battery life. Unsurpassed performance built to fit today's vehicles. Optima, the ultimate power source.
Hey truck and Jeep owners, trust the experts at 4-Wheel Parts Superstores. We're your #1 source for BF Goodrich tires, and our ASE certified technicians install everything we sell. 4-Wheel Parts has the best pricing and selection on tires, wheels, lift kits, accessories, and much more. Shop online or visit any one of our 87 North American locations. Find us now at 4wheelparts.com.
We know what we can do. Now, it's time for the world to see.
Here's to the defiant ones, the roughnecks, and the rogues who refuse to live by the laws of physics. Here's to the renegades who can go 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, but wish they were doing it in 3. Here's to those who know gravity is there, but choose to flip it the bird.
Guys, welcome back live from the lake bed, qualifying for the Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. We are just beginning our qualifying of 4,400 cars right now. We've had a couple sub 2-minute times, but Matt Burkett is on the line and ready to tackle that qualifying course. We've had a rollover deep on the course. I've been working on getting it cleaned up, so we've been holding here and here at the line. That's probably the worst place to be right now, don't you think, Brittany? Because you want to go so bad, you're lined up, ready to go, and they just say, stop.
Absolutely. You're all buckled in, you got your helmet on, everything ready for that green flag, and then they hold you up. You got to get amped up again. For all of you guys just tuning in, our time to beat is Darren Henke, still holding that fastest qualifier time for the day with a 1:54.61.
That's a fast time for this early in qualifying. If this wind keeps up, we may see a sub 1:45. I think when the power hour fires up, we're going to see down. While we wait for that course to get clear, tomorrow's UTV racing all day, right, Brittany?
Absolutely, one of my favorite races out here at King of the Hammers. It's really nice to see how far we've really come, what racers we have getting behind the wheel of a UTV. It's really like the celebrity class.
All right, he is off the line. Matt Burkett heading into that short course. We'll make quick work of that tabletop jump. So far, the short course has claimed a couple of drivers just working it a little too fast right off that line, but once clear of that, they get into the desert, into the rocks, up into that Jeep proving grounds. Great aerial shot there of him making that last turn through the gates, and off the lake bed and into the Hammers. right, next off the line, 44.87, Matt Neiman. Into that short course, quick work of that little tabletop jump. I love that little tabletop jump at the start. So many cars qualifying today that they were putting 2 on a course at a time. I think, Brittany, you said we have 106 to get through today, correct?
Yeah, just about that. Over 100. Yesterday we had 80, so give you a little idea of how many people really vie for this King of the Hammers.
That car is moving fast through that section of desert. I like the paint scheme on that car. Reminds me of Scooby-Doo. Here he goes up into that Jeep Proving Grounds.
Matt Burkett just finishing up his run with a 2:04.73, putting him in 4th place for the day so far.
All right, let's see him coming down that stair step out of the rocks, back into the desert. Going to pick up a little bit of speed here. I'm just hearing from the trailer right now that the reason he painted that car as the Mystery Machine colors is because everyone refers to him as Scooby. So now it makes perfect sense. Just off the line was Don Fisher. Through the gates into the desert, ended up into that Jeep Proving Ground section. First little taste of rocks on this qualifying course.
Michael Fegan's laying down a 2:17.53 for his qualifying run. Sexton off the line. All right, you can see we got one driver headed out of the short course into the desert, and then in that we got another one coming off of the rocks back in. The line. The 1982 of Don Fisher putting himself up into 6th place with his time of 2:08.28.
That's not a bad place, you know. Everyone sort of seems to be landing right around that 2-minute mark, but that magic number is still sub 2-minute runs. Those 2 fast times are sitting on that leaderboard. That would be the time to beat if you want to be in clean air. Addington on the line, and he is off. Taking that tabletop jump on that short course. Great great aerial shot of him making that first big sweep and turn. That's been the one that's claimed a couple cars so far today. He's coming out clean though and getting ready to head into the desert.
Ripped it through the desert section.
You know, big props today for everyone out here. You know, it takes a lot of work to get an event like this broadcast live, even if it was from a major metropolitan area, but we are literally in the middle of nowhere. So I have a little history with television, so I know how much work it takes to do this. So I gotta say, these guys are knocking it out of the park with this. If you're sitting at home watching this, you should thank these guys for the effort they put in. Car 71 off the line. We're about a quarter of the way through qualifying so far. We've done about just under 30 cars have left the line. That's John Hall out on the course, about to leave the short course through the gates and then into the desert.
Ian, we had another person beat that 2-minute mark. Cody Addington, 1:58.67, putting him in second place.
That is a great time too to be picking off those sub 2-minute times on this short course race so early in the day. I mean, these guys are laying it down out there, all looking for that good starting position for that Friday start race. Little bit of history about Cody Addington. He's an old school Hammers racer. Was out here in the stock class in a Toyota rig and just never gave up on that course, did he, Britt?
I think that's the heart that you have to have out here. Never give up. Like we were talking about before, making it to the finish is the ultimate challenge out here.
Yeah, and just putting in that perseverance. Now he's got a 4400 car. I think that just shows seat time, even if it's just in a stock rig, makes a huge difference out there. He's put that time in, understand those trails, understand that desert, and now he's sitting second fastest so far of the day. Oh, Brent Gogaber on the course right now, up in those Jeep proving grounds. Up there, making quick work of the rock section, the Jeep proving grounds. And we got Brett Gogaber about to leave the line. Brett Gogaber, one of those bigwigs over at 4 Wheel Parts, yet comes out here and spends time in the dirt with the rest of us regular people.
Work hard and play harder, right?
Yeah, that is true. You know, you get to spend a lot of time. It is nice that you work in the off-road industry and get to come out here and participate in stuff like this. I think that's great for him. Brett's a great guy. Known him for years. So it's nice to see him laying down some fast times. That car is a fast car, too. I've seen it race before. You can see he's out of the short course in the desert. IFS car, that one is. Yoder coming in as Gogaber goes out.
2:15.47 for Kevin Yoder. It's a really solid run for Yoder. Definitely not new out here to Hammertown.
Mike, you're about to leave the line. You can just sort of see the difference in ride height in those solid axle cars, those IFS cars. IFS cars so low slung, gives them all that extra speed. Sacrifice a little bit of ground clearance out in the big rock sections, but for guys who spend time behind the wheel of them, they learn how to drive them, they learn how to crawl them, and they can lay down some fast times even in the rocks. I mean, both Shannon and Whalen proved that last year. That's probably one of the best finishes this race I think I've ever seen. Gogobert back into Hammertown after making a fast qualifying run. See what kind of time he lays down.
Ian, you called it. Brent Gogobert with a fast time, 2:06.53, putting him in the 7th place right now as we are about a third of our way through today's qualifying.
That wind is picking up out there too. Good for them, not so great for us standing up here on the stage, but it's going to keep the dust clear and going to allow them to lay down some really fast times. Michael Heston's going to come up the line, take his chance at qualifying for this 2018 Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. Arguably the toughest one-day race in America, or the world, I would say. Michael Heston waiting to leave the line. We've had a few sub 2-minute runs so far. We'll see how many more we can get today, but that sort of seems to be the time to beat if you want to be out front at this Friday's race. It's a great shot of him taking that corner nice and wide, coming in clean. See, he's through the short course, about to go through the gates and then into the desert.
That was close.
That was a quick little bounce up there. He was able to recover quickly, though, get a better line and get into that Jeep proving ground. That's got to be unnerving, though, when you get up there and something like that happens, because you're on that fine edge of fast time and keep the car together. You do not want a DNF starting at the back of a group of over 100 cars. He's trying to make up time coming down that ledge. right, off the line right now, Cody Wagner. Car number 48, Laser Nut. This is a car I want to see because this is a cool car for anyone who follows these cars being built as much as I do. That's an IFS IRS car with actual portal boxes at the axles to get the axles up even higher. It is a very unique design. I talked to him last night during the shootout. He said he thinks he's got all the bugs worked out of this car, and this year is his year. What do you think, Renee?
I think he definitely has a good run at it. He's no stranger out here to Hammertown, and with this car, I think he's going to have a really great chance at it. Have you seen what he's done? And he's built his own laser nut town on the other side.
You cannot deny the passion that that man has for this particular racing world. If you build your own town just outside Hammertown and you build it out of containers, but I mean, if you own a business to cut steel, you cut unlimited steel, right? So why not do it?
Absolutely, and he's doing it with the machines just like we have out here on the lake bed. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go over to the Amada booth, but you don't want to miss it. All of our friends and families out here on the lake bed, go check out what Amada's done. They've brought a fiber laser out here to show everyone exactly what fabrication's all about.
Yeah, I stopped by their booth earlier today, Brittany, and it was really cool because that is, I asked them if where they're pulling the power from for that, and is it an issue out here on the lake bed? And they said no. All right, we got Jordan Pellegrino on the course. Cool story about Jordan is Jordan has taken over the driving seat from his dad, Tony. Most of us know Tony from Gen Ride Off-Road. Tony's been here racing forever, chasing that crown. Well, this year he's handed the driving duties over to his son, Jordan, who's coming up from the lower classes, and we'll see if he can get it done.
Yeah, Ian, and you know that this is, although I don't like to pick favorites, Jordan's definitely a favorite, one of my favorites. He's a Fab School graduate, so just watching him go up and take his chance in the big race on Friday is going to be something to watch.
I think that just sort of speaks to everything that's cool about Ultra 4 racing in general, is just the fact that we now have so many next generation drivers in here. You know, you got Bailey Cole, you got Waylon Campbell, you got Bailey Campbell, now you got Jordan Pellegrino. This truly is a family sport, and everyone's out here getting their kids into this and getting them racing, which is awesome. Cody Wagner came in with a 2:03.08. Did not break that 2-minute mark like we expected. But I expect big things from him on Friday.
We were talking about Cody Wagner's car. He laid down a 2:03.08, pushing him up to 6th place so far. Still didn't quite beat that 2-minute mark, but he's right up there.
Jordan coming in at a 2:02.04, not sub 2 minutes, I'd say, but very, very fast. Probably a good chance just keeping that car together for Friday. You know, that's a proven car. It's been on a few podiums, just not the most important podium.
Yeah, you know, not everyone likes to talk about it, but there's that thing that we like to say, the Pellegrino curse.
I didn't want to say that out loud because Tony would come and punch me right in the face. All right, we're up in those Jeep proving grounds in that rock section. As more and more drivers hit that, it's going to get more and more dug out, and it's going to have to be very important to pick the right line on that hill. And everyone seems to be able to make up a little bit of time coming down the backside off that little drop-off and then out into the desert. We got a guy up here looking for a spare 3X fire suit for the race on Friday. He's got a slot, needs a suit to wear. If anyone's looking to loan one out for the race, come and find me, and I'll get you in touch with the guy that you need to loan it to. Hey, Tony, come here. I see you standing out in that crowd.
Just because you're retired doesn't mean you can't come talk to us.
All right, Tony, big transition. Driver to team owner. How's it feel seeing your boy out there?
Oh man, it's so rewarding. He just turned a 2:02, which is fantastic time for his first shot in the car, and man, I couldn't be prouder.
So you've hung it up, handed it off to him. This is a big move for you. I'm sure it's like bittersweet. You're probably super proud, but then at the same time, you're probably sort of missing that driver's seat a little bit.
Yeah, I miss it a little bit. I'm gonna turn back to my roots and keep Jeeping, of course. We got the new jail coming out, so lots of parts to develop for that. But boy, Jordan, he's only 19 years old. If he does great here, he's got a long career ahead of him. So I'm very proud of him.
Right on, Tony. Best of luck on Friday to Jordan. Tell him that we're wishing him the best. Thanks again, man. We'll see you in Moab. All right, for those of you watching at home and for everyone here in Hammertown watching the Jumbotron, you can see that we have our current fastest time at the top of the screen. It's Darren Henke at 1:54.61. We'll just sort of see who can knock that time off the screen today and see exactly how fast these qualifying runs come in at. Chris May out in the short course, making quick work of it. Taking that last corner, and then he'll be off into the desert and then up into those Jeep Proving Grounds. In that Jeep Proving Grounds, you'll see some ARB flags. ARB's doing a fastest 40, so that's the fastest car up that ledge between the two flags will get a free 40 spine ARB air locker. More importantly, probably if you pull down that fastest time, you'll probably have a great qualifying position for this Friday's race. So it's like a win-win. So I made a mistake there previously. This is Chris Pava out on the course. That was Chris May ahead of him. John Cagliaro off the line. You can see he is laying it down out there. I think we'll see a fast time out of him if he can get a clean line up to those Jeep Proving Grounds. That car is doing work on that short course.
Chris May almost beating that 2-minute mark, but not quite, with a time of 2:01:26. Solid run for Chris May.
We still have our fastest time up there, Darren Henke, sitting there on the top corner of your screen. That's the fastest time so far for qualifying for the race on Friday. So we're about a quarter of the way through, maybe a third of the way through our race today. See Cagliaro in those Jeep Proving Grounds making easy work of those rocks.
Chris Pava with a 2:06:89.
Very clean line down those ledges and then back in the desert, where you will see him turn that car on. I can hear him all the way back here in Hammertown. It's great. Eric Lutka off the line. Working his way through the short course here in Hammertown. For those of you at home watching this on the live stream, go ahead and just plan to be here next year. I mean, it's the place to be. You got a choice. You can still watch the live feed right here on the Jumbotron. We'll still be here, right, Brittany?
Absolutely, and for our local friends, even if you're, stayed away, Arizona, Nevada, California, you can still make it out. We still have 3.5 more days of racing.
Well, there's racing nonstop here until Friday's big race, where everyone will be throwing it down to see who gets the crown. And the question is, will it be another Campbell win? Will it be Eric coming back with a solid axle car? Or the best part about King of the Hammer, it could be anybody. Car 666 getting ready to leave the line. Matt Thorson.
You gotta love when these guys take off and they push that skinny pedal down with all their might.
I think there's a reason that they put that tabletop jump right out front there. It's a good show for everyone who's here. It's a good show for everyone that's home. Get to really see the drivers turn those cars on and really make them work on that starting line.
John Cagliara almost made it past the 2-minute mark. 2 flat with 16/10 of a second.
Well, he certainly looked like he was out there hunting that sub 2 minute. That car was working its way through the Jeep Proving Grounds, and more importantly, you could hear it screaming through the desert all the way back here in Hammertown. That is a fast car. Jeff McCullough lined up. Can definitely tell the difference when a mid-engine LS leaves the line. Sound completely different than everything else out there. qualifying course today of less than a mile long. There's Mr. Greg Adler walking through the crowd, you know. Qualifying course, less than a mile. Mixture of desert rocks and the short course right here in Hammertown.
Yeah, it really gives them an element of the entire Friday. They get a little bit of everything in just this almost a mile.
It is true. I mean, when you're watching at home, you can just sort of see that these cars are clicking off this short little qualifying lap, getting in position for Friday's race. This qualifying course will give them a taste of everything they're going to see, but it's not it's the distance that's going to really put these cars to the test on Friday. We still have Darren Henke holding our fastest time of the day. Edwin Abt just left the line. He's out of the short course into the desert. He'll have a clean run of those Jeep Proving Grounds. First taste of rocks on this qualifying lap.
Jeff McCullough finished out his run with a 2:05.70.
Line than everyone else, closer to the big rocks. Didn't take the smooth line down to the outer edge there, but he's big, quick work those little drop-offs, drop off into the desert. Brendan Thompson, the 5150 car, leaves the line. Well, we're about halfway through our qualifying so far, Brittany. Getting close to that 50 car mark. Seen a few sub 2-minute runs. What do you think so far? Think we're going to see some super fast times in Power Hour, or is the course going to be too torn up by the time they get here?
You know, I think it's going to be torn up, but they definitely are going to push it. There's a reason why it's called Power Hour. We have almost all of our former kings in there, and you know they're going to throw down.
I think there's a little bit of bragging rights for some of these guys come out here early. They may not be as well known, but they are the true heart of what makes King of the Hammers so awesome. These are guys working in their own garage, maybe not huge high-end fab shops, building their own cars at home, doing their thing, still coming out here and throwing it down with the 4400s. You know, it's nice to see them clicking off those sub 2-minute times and showing that they can get it done even if they're not in Power Hour. Up next to line is Jay Calloway at 44.10, and then right after him is Bailey Cole. Bailey Cole, another person, a little bit of pressure on him, another second generation, kind of. You know, Dad might not be a racer, but he's pretty important around Hammertown, you know.
Just a little.
Darren Hankey still holding on to that fast time of the day of 154.61. Jay Calloway's just sitting there waiting for that green flag. Got a little break here. They're going to water the course, try to keep some of the dust down for the spectators. The drivers like the wind, want the dust off the course, but wind's kicking up a little bit, getting a little bit of dust here into Hammertown, so they want to water down that short course. Oh, I can feel the mist coming. It's like being at Niagara Falls, Britt. All right, guys, here we have our top 10 leaderboard presented by Monster. Right now, we've got Darren Hankey sitting in our fast position at 154.61. Behind him, Cody Addington, 158. Brian Cabrera, 158. Jason Blanton, 159. Then we're over the 2-minute mark with John Kegliero. Chris May, Jordan Pellegrino, Mike Boo, Cody Wagner, and then Brendan Thompson. A lot of fast times up there so far, Brittany.
Yeah, you can see how close they really are, too. While we're sitting here taking a little break, you know, I want to just talk a little bit about the Fab School. I know you're involved in the Fab School. What exactly do you do at the Fab School? I run the marketing department at the Fab School, and if you guys don't know about the Fab School, we're a metal fabrication and welding school. But I've been around King of the Hammer since the very inception. Used to work with Lance at Pirate 4x4, ran live coverage on dirtnews.com, so I've been in the dirt for a long time. Tell us a little bit about where you came from, Ian.
Well, I've been kicking around this world for a while. I raced KOH back in 2010. I've been hosting a little television show that people watch occasionally. Left that this year, so now I'm semi-retired. So, yeah, you know, basically, I love King of the Hammers. I loved it from its inception, way back at the very, very beginning. Was involved with Dave when, like, second or third race, brought the car out here and just had to try it. And it's just a great event. Watched it evolve, and when the option came up to come and hang out here and do some announcing, I was like, I'm in, Dave, no questions asked, I'll be there.
Absolutely. I mean, just seeing it evolve from that first, second, third year and to look to how it is now, all those helicopter shots that we always see, capturing the true love of this sport. This is my passion, you know. Being out here in the dirt, you can't get me away.
No, it's hard to get any better than being in Hammertown here in February. You know, I mean, I think that's and it sort of speaks to where we are. We're in Johnson Valley, California, middle of nowhere, in the middle of the winter for the rest of the country. So some of these guys, like, you know, Eric Miller, Lucas Murphy, anyone who's coming from that sort of northeastern corner to get here, number one, it's a long drive, but number two, they got to fight through some serious weather to get down here to compete. So for those guys, this is definitely, they put in the truck is getting ready to get off the course. I heard a motor rev up, so maybe we'll get some action.
I hope so. Maybe after Jay runs, one might have to get him up here to, you know, he is our resident comedian after all.
I have seen some of his videos. I think it's pretty funny. I'd love to get him up here. I'll get him some gel. Maybe we can spike his hair up. He can make fun of me. I firmly believe that, you know, that is the sincerest form of flattery if someone makes fun of you. I still am expecting to get a free meal out of this fair haircut. Someone's going to think I'm Guy Fieri and I'm getting lunch somewhere, no charge. Those of you watching at home on the live stream, still trying to decide whether you're going to come out here to see an actual King of the Hammers race live. It's not just the race, there's so much more to do here. I mean, there's a lot of people set up here, manufacturers, vendors, everyone's here. I heard you can even test drive a Can-Am out there. Is that true?
Absolutely. You know, I went out there the other day and they definitely give you a run for your money. So much fun. Come out, test drive. We have UTV racing tomorrow. Thursday, we have the Everyman Challenge. And what's Friday?
Friday's the big race. That is the Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. That's where everyone's going to throw it down. That's what everyone's qualifying for today, looking for that coveted spot near the front of the race. And I think it just, you know, you've got a race wrapped around this entire event. You know, there's a couple pilgrimages in your life that you have to make, and it's just sort of depending on what your hobby is. If you're into bikes, you're going to go to Sturgis. You know, if you're into boats, you're going to go to Key West. If you're into off-roading, you're going to go to Moab. And most importantly, you better be here at King of the Hammers. While we're waiting on that water truck, we've got the a hat up here, which is going to be a coveted hat. May not seem like a lot, but it comes with a big bonus, and it's the KMC Hard Charger Award, fastest qualifier today. KMC is going to pay their entry fee into the big race on Friday. All right, guys, while they water down that course, we're going to take a quick break here from the qualifying at the 4400 class, King of the Hammers. Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima.
Some say there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Sure, unless you can make it better. All tires aren't created equal. The Nitto Ridge Grappler. Spiral wound construction enables our truck tires to be aggressive and ride incredibly smooth. Our tread and sidewall designs deliver off-road performance for even the most demanding terrain, while computer-simulated tread design delivers a quiet and comfortable ride on the highway. The Ridge Grappler goes beyond expectations. Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts.
PCI Race Radios, the leader in racing communications for over 40 years. PCI specializes in on-site sales and support at the races, traveling throughout the U.S. and Baja to offer the best in support for our customers. Whether you're in the rocks, desert, or sand, we've got you covered. For the best quality, service, and support, call us today or visit us on the web. We'll see you in the desert.
We didn't just test the new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology, we tortured it. King of the Hammers is 181 battery-killing miles of relentless, unforgiving hellishness. It's one thing to call yourself the ultimate power source. It's another thing to prove it. The all-new Optima Yellow Top with Pure Flow technology with up to 3 times the battery life. Unsurpassed performance built to fit today's vehicles. Optima, the ultimate power source.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Johnson Valley Means Dry Lake here, qualifying for the 4400 class of the Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. Jay Calloway just left the line. Coming up right behind him will be Bailey Cole waiting to tackle that course. I expect big things from Bailey, you know.
I think we should. We were talking about that second generation. I mean, Jordan Pellegrino already laid down a pretty solid run, so I think, you know, they should be on the same level.
I would agree with that. I think, you know, Bailey's got a lot of seat time in a rig. I think he's sort of proven himself as a racer many, many times, and even clipped off a couple podiums, so it'll be neat to see what he can lay down here in qualifying. And I think he's in his dad's old car, isn't he? Fast time of the day, for those of you still joining us, is still Darren Hankey sitting at a 154.61 on that qualifying lap. So far, he will be taking home the KMC Wheels Hard Charger Award if he holds on to that time.
Pretty cool deal, KMC paying the entry fee for whoever gets today's top qualifying time.
Bailey Cole just off the line into that short course section. See him coming down that straight stretch. And he'll be going into the last corner before he heads out into the desert. That's MBRP corner. It's claimed a couple cars today, going in a little bit hot, had a couple rollovers in the short course. But he's headed out into the desert, into that first rock section. He's gonna make his way through that ARB fastest 40 section, then up into the Jeep Proving Grounds. First taste of rocks here on this qualifying lap.
Handsome Jay Calloway with a 2:11.55.
I like that nickname, Handsome Jay.
He even has his own energy drink.
Yeah, I've always wanted my own energy drink. I've always felt that's when you made it. I've always said I'd make it when I have my own energy drink or my own brand of hair gel. Troy Stone off the line, number 429.
Sitting in 7th place so far, Bailey Cole, 2:01.36 in that 44.54 car.
And it's a great time for him, you know, getting close to that 2-minute mark in that car. Be a good starting position on Friday. I think he'll be doing a good job. Having a little bit of difficulty up there in the Jeep Proving Grounds. That hill is getting more and more dug out as the day goes along. They'll have to carry some momentum to get up in there, and it'll be really interesting to see how bad it gets when the power hour rolls through that section. If you've pulled a late card in that run, it could be interesting. While he digs away at that rock section, on our start line right now, we've got Casey Curry, someone who's no stranger here in Hammertown to almost anyone who's into the off-road racing world.
Yeah, I talked to Casey this morning and he was telling me this car has been completely rebuilt after he went and took it out to the Baja 1000. They haven't tested it yet, haven't even run it until this morning. He did one round at a qualifying and he's ready to go.
I think he'll be in good shape. You know, that Curry family, they're no stranger to building race cars. They've been out here for years in both the desert and here competing at King of the Hammers. So an untested car for them is probably just as good as a tested car for most everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. His dad was telling me that they tore it down to the frame, turned it into a rock crawler, really looking to go for that Triple Crown this year. That's the Mint, King of the Hammers, and Crandon.
That certainly will be a feather in their cap. You know, that family is no stranger to motorsports. They certainly spend a lot of time out here in the dirt. Great supporters of all types of off-roading, and it would be nice to see them pull that off. You can see he's off the line, hitting that tabletop. Nice. Look at that. Beautiful car. Nice looking car. Although it's a tube buggy, you can see that they took the front of that car and tried to keep it a little Jeep looking. It is amazing the evolution of these cars over the years. For those of us who've been coming out to King of the Hammers since the very beginning, I remember when the Formula Toy was a contender out here every year. Just doesn't seem to be as many of those around anymore. You can see Casey making quick work of the rocks up there in the Jeep Proving Grounds. Untested or not, that's someone who knows how to drive. You put him in a car and he will get the job done. He's charging hard down the back section of that hill. I think we'll see a good time here from him. Marcos Gomez off the line right now into that short course. Another fast car. Single seat car. I almost had to look twice to see if that was actually Casey back so fast. That is going to be an impressive time, I think.
You know, you said it was impressive, and the number 2 of Casey Curry has now set the fastest qualifying time. Now your new time to beat, 1 minute, 50 seconds, and 76. Oh my gosh, Ian, that is fast.
That is a huge move for him. Like, you could tell that he was charging hard, and if he wants that Triple Crown, he's going to need that clean air. So you can tell, untested or not, that car just put down a fast time.
You know, they claim that it's untested, but it just did over 1,000 miles in Baja, so.
Well, the Curry's version of untested and my version of untested are probably two very, very different things. But either way, Casey Curry is now sitting at our fastest position. There's a good chance that that time might hold all day. That is a huge jump from our second fastest car of Darren Henke, 4 seconds slower. That's Hunter Sparrow heading up into the Jeep Proving Grounds. Making quick works of those rocks.
Marcos Gomez with a 2:02.89 as he rolled across the finish line.
Gomez brothers, no stranger to put down some fast times, especially in those cars. Very unique design. Another IFS IRS, a little bit different than the Laser Nut car we looked at before rather, but unique design, almost like a torsion bar set up in the back. Eric Miramon just left the line. I think everyone at Power Hour is going to have their work cut out for them to try to knock off a 150. That is a fast time.
I could be wrong, but I'd have to say that's Casey's fastest qualifying run, probably.
It certainly sounded like it. And when I turned around to watch that other car leave, I had to look twice to see if that was actually Casey coming back in, because it was shocking to see him back from around the backside of that butte so fast.
Hunter Sparrow with a 22663.
Still a good time. More importantly, car drove back in. Hopefully means no work before the race on Friday. Number 928, Matt Garofaro off the line. We have another sub 2-minute run. Eric Miramon's currently third place with a 156.40. Good hard charge and run. Matt Garofaro coming out of the Jeep Proving Grounds, dropping the backside. Sitting on the starting line right now. Matt McCowan, 44.09. All right, we got Handsome Jay up here. You are a handsome man, Handsome Jay. You know, I gotta say.
It's gotten very difficult at this stage. There's so many good-looking guys out here. It's like I'm working double time right now. But let me just ask you guys a question out there. What's going on with these IFS cars? I keep hearing IFS car, IFS car. It's like this new mystique. I don't know if it's like magic or voodoo, but can someone tell me what an IFS car is? It's like IFS it's the desert, it's faster, and IFS it's the rocks, it's slower. I cannot figure out the difference between a solid axle car and an IFS car. So
it's kind of like where I'm from. You got an ARB in your axle.
Am I pronouncing that correctly, IFS?
We'll say yeah.
Yeah. One other thing, you know, this is the longest, toughest Hammers race that they've put together, and everyone's telling me, Jay, this is a battle of nutrition. And so, like, cars are going to be falling out one at a time. So you got to keep your nutrition up. I still can't put those two together. I don't know the correlation of a battle of nutrition, but we're loaded up on bananas, we're loaded up on tomatoes, and we're incredibly excited about what Friday's going to bring.
The banana is the key to everything out here. That is true. The potassium level is incredibly important. But you do know the key to eating a banana in public is to never take your eyes off another person while you're eating it.
That's exactly right. So, and our philosophy is, you know, the whole thing at one time. So we're working on it. We're not quite there yet, but anyway, we had a great run. We're very excited. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Handsome Jay. Good luck, brother. Oh, sunglasses. I got hits. Oh.
Thank you, guys. We never know what's going to come out of
Jeff Caudill on course, coming out of the Jeep Proving Grounds. And Joe Hutchins on the starting line, and he is off.
Jeff Caudill with a 1:59.94, putting him in 7th place so far.
That's a lot of sub 2-minute runs. We were surprised to see the first one, but I think now the next new marker is that fast time that Casey Curry holds of that 1:50. That's going to be the new benchmark that everyone in the Power Hour is going to be shooting for to try to get a good starting position for Friday's race. You can certainly hear the cars when they come out of that Jeep Proving Grounds, drop off that final edge and back into the desert. You can hear them all the way back here in Hammertown. Chad Hunt into the short course, going around MBRP turn before he will leave the short course, leave Hammertown, go through the gates, head out into the desert, up into the rocks. So far, great day of qualifying here for the Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima batteries. Big race on Friday, everyone just trying to get that good starting spot. Great day in Hammertown so far, don't you think, Brittany?
Absolutely, and you know, this first group of qualifiers for today, we only have about 10 more before we hit the LCQs.
Now, the LCQ being the last chance qualifier, probably one of the coolest things about this race, guys will actually build that car, drag it all the way out here for the lake bed, just for the chance to race on Friday. That's spirit right there. Ben Swain off the line, number 36. Hard charging over that tabletop. How about that hill climb shootout last night, Brittany? Did you watch any of that?
I did. Those guys are always put on a good show, and it was nice that it was right here in Hammertown too.
I think the coolest part was the fact that this year they had the two hills. I thought that was a neat twist. You know, you had basically that first hill, you know, you get the winning spot, get the $7,500 in your pocket, but more importantly, get the good shot for that Yukon mountain for that $10,000 payout. I was impressed with some of the, we'll call them shenanigans that were laid down on that hill. But in the end, you know, that rock crawler up that ledge was the first one to climb it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the top 10 from last night's race, they get a chance to race in the big race on Friday.
Yeah, when we were there last night, we had a couple people who were actually looking for some shout outs into the crowd. They had their spots, and they were just looking for a car and a seat to get in. So that's probably the coolest thing. You know, you can bring your rock bouncer out here, which is not really set up to race Ultra 4, but you pull that slot. You can't deny that. That car left the line in a hurry. That's Paul Horschel. I think we'll see a fast time if he keeps up that pace. But those top 10 qualifiers from last night, they've earned a spot. And then we have a few guys that are coming out trying out for the last chance qualifier right after this round of qualifying, and they can earn a spot in the race.
Yes, 5 people will move on from the last chance qualifier into Friday's big race.
And it's one thing to come out here and qualify for a qualifying spot. It's another thing to know that you've got to lay it all on the line out there just for the chance to race. But at the same time, you don't want to wad up the car during the LCQ, because I've been here on the lake bed changing a transmission the night before the race, and it is no fun.
You know, while we wait for them to clear the course, we'd like to give a shout out to Chris Summer. Him and his daughter and his entire team came down with the flu, so they weren't even able to make it out here to the race. Such a bummer, such a disappointment, but we hope that you guys all get better.
All right, well, we got a little bit of a technical issue on the course. Let's adjust some timing. You can see we've got our top 10 up here. We got Casey Curry still holding down that hard charger spot at 1:50. Darren Hankey still holding strong, and he was an early qualifier with a 1:54. Eric Miramon, Cody Addington, Brian Caparara, Jason Blanton, Jeff Caudill, John Cagliaro, Chris May, and Bailey Cole holding on to that 10th spot. That is a lot of cars floating right around that 2-minute mark. That's some fast qualifying for today.
Ian, you saw Paul Horschel off the line, and you said he had a good run, so we're waiting to see what his official run is, see if
it sounded like he was working that car hard off the start line, and he had a good time through that through the Jeep Proving Grounds, and it sounded like he was making that car do some work in that back desert section. So I'm excited to see what kind of number he pulls up for us. All right, car 38 is off the line while we wait to find out what Paul Horschel pulled in. Eston Sims charging hard through the short course section. You can certainly tell the drivers who are looking to get that fast time, you can tell when they leave the line how badly they want it. You can just hear them, even right up here on stage. You can hear that car really let loose in that short course. Dropping down the backside of that Jeep Proving Grounds. Couple good stair steps there. Get a little bit of momentum back into the desert. On the line, I recognize that car. That's Lucas Murphy. He's come out a couple times with me to have some fun. Nice to see him out here. He's always puts on a good show. Loves those solid axle cars, kind of like I do, and can definitely make them work. I'm excited to see what kind of time he puts down too. Oh, that's not looking good though.
He might have to work a little harder on Friday.
I think Lucas may have to do a little bit of work on that car based on the fact that it's sitting on the qualifying course. That's a shame. Last year he was charging hard near the end too, and ended up, what was taking him out of the race was what he thought was a broken transfer case, ended up just being a broken weld between the actual carrier bearing on his rear driveline. When he got the car all the way back up to New England, they completely expected to take the back end out and see the transfer case broken. Ended up just being a drive shaft, which they could have fixed on the course. Look at that, Brittany. We said it was fast, and we now have a new top qualifier. We've got Paul Horschel at 146.41. He sounded fast, but that is fast.
Absolutely. The second he pushed the gas pedal, you could tell that he was not going to lift it.
He was, as we say, hauling the mail out there, and he was, you could tell at that tabletop, fully committed, wanted that fast time, made it through the Jeep Proving Grounds, came down that back stair step, and as soon as that car was flat in the desert, you could hear it all the way back here in Hammertown. There was no give in his race. Shane Chiddix about to leave the line. I can see Lucas coming back into the pits. Probably not very happy with that that qualifying run. Shane is off the line. Another fast sounding lead from there. You can see he's coming up on that tabletop hard. I think at this point, every driver is going to be pushing. That is a number to beat. We have multiple cars under that 2-minute mark. So to get up even in that top 10, and we haven't even had power hour yet, that's a push.
We'll have to wait and see, but will they break the 140 mark?
I would love to see someone break the 140 mark. We'll see if Shannon breaks the 140 mark on 3 wheels. I think there's no question that all of the Campbells will be pushing hard this year, especially Bailey. Dropping out of the Jeep Proving Grounds back in the desert. Once again, pushing hard. You can hear him all the way back here in Hammertown. another fast driver off the Tom, ran into Tom this year at the Holly LS Fest West. Dave and the Hammer King crew came out, put on a great show for a bunch of guys who normally sling their cars sideways through the corners. Showed them what Ultra 4 was all about. And now I see a bunch of Holly EFI flags out there. It's nice to see companies like that you normally don't expect to be in the off-road world jumping in, respecting what these guys do with these cars, stepping up, supporting them, and really pushing the industry even further. A lot of times have changed. It used to be a junkyard motor, put in the car, go racing. Not anymore.
Saved it.
That was quite the save indeed.
I'd have to say that the number 7777 put down a pretty solid run. Pretty lucky draw if he can hold this spot. 1:59.62, putting him in 7th place.
1:59, that's another sub 2-minute run. That's going to be the norm today. I think by the time Power Hour comes around, Brittany, we may see that sub 1:40 run. For those of you who were watching the race last year, Shane, he had a rough go last year. He was driving the car that burned to the ground before qualifying, borrowed a car to qualify, and then had some issues in the qualifying, didn't he, Brittany?
Yeah, he didn't even get to make it to the race.
It's a shame, really, so it's nice to see him back here laying down a fast time, getting out in that lake bed. Hopefully he'll have a good starting position. We'll see what he can lay down on Friday. Jeff Brown making quick work backside the Jeep Proving Grounds. Craig Allen leaving the line, heading off on that short course. This is where you have to make that decision. Do you leave it all on the line in qualifying, try to get that top 10 spot, or do you just keep the car together, get a good spot for Friday, and hope for the best?
Yeah, we only have a few more racers here that are going to take their chance at qualifying. You know that their crew chiefs are feeding them the time, so they have to really decide if they want to push it or if they're okay with 20 to 40th place.
It is a race that can be won from the back. It's happened before.
Jeff Brown rolling in with a 2:13.97.
We've got the other Gomez brother off the line, similar design car, single seat. No question, these guys always charge hard.
think he wants to beat that tap time. He's going to push it.
2:30 something. He was fast through that short course out in that desert. We'll see how well he can handle that one hill that's getting dug out pretty bad up there in the Jeep Proving Grounds. But you can see that car is moving. I'd love to see a new fast time right in this group. Made quick work. That was a sketchy section that we've had people have trouble with so far today, but making it look easy out there. And those IFS cars can make that transition out of those rocks into that desert so fast. That's where they make up a lot of time. John Picken off the line. Car 717. Seems to be making a, there we go, now he's stretching the legs on that car, sort of picking his way through the short course there. Another car back fast, Gomez. Interesting to see what kind of time we got there. The question will be, will he be the new leader? I heard him say that there's a whole bunch of Matt Tribino on the line.
JP Gomez definitely looked fast. He's sitting in 13th right now with a 2:01.62.
Thought that car was faster than that. Certainly sounded like it. They laid it down out there, but not enough to get that KMC hard charger position right now, being held by Paul Horschel. That 1:46 time, that's going to be a tough time to beat today. Don't know if you know this, Brittany, but when I was driving in here the other day, just for fun, I put in my map, my Google Maps. I put in Hammertown, and it actually comes up.
That's when you know you've made it.
It is true. When I was flying in, I was trying to see this place from the sky, but I think it was maybe a little bit too dusty. But just to get here and see how much it's grown over the years, this is a small city here on Means Dry Lake Bed. There's street names, you know, there's services, got internet. Here we are broadcasting live to the world. This is quite the event.
Absolutely, and this is our last racer to take on the first group of qualifying before we will see the LCQ. For all of you guys out here in Hammertown, the LCQ last chance qualifier will take place just before Power Hour. It will take place at 3 p.m. with Power Hour at 4 p.m. You guys don't want to miss it.
Those of you watching at home, those are two events you do not want to miss. Last chance qualifier, these guys laying it all on the line just for the chance to race. And then of course, Power Hour, some of the biggest names in the business are gonna be out here trying to beat that 1:46.41 time. It is going to be one heck of an afternoon of racing.
The number 31 of Matt Tribino, 2:17:37.
All right, as we start to wrap up the first batch of qualifying, we've got our leaderboard here, sponsored by Monster Energy. Still at the top, we've got Paul Horschel with 1:46, the time to beat. Casey Curry, Darren Henke, Eric Miramon, Cody Addington, Brian Caprara, Shane Chiddix, Jason Blanton, Jeff Cottle, and John Cagliaro wrapping up your top 10. A lot of fast cars still to come, but a lot of fast times on that board. All right, for those of you watching at home, we had one driver who missed his position. They gave him some time. He was broken. He's come in. He's actually gonna get a chance to come out here and qualify for the Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by Optima's race on Friday. Probably one of the best thing about Ultra 4 racing is everyone wants to give everyone a chance to race. Nobody wants to just be set aside because they didn't make it to the line. Dave's a fair guy. Give him a chance on the course, won't he, Brittany?
Absolutely. You know, Friday's race is a coveted race, and they have to go out there and get a fair chance at their qualifying run, see where they can line up with the rest of the crew.
So here he is on the line, ready to go. This should be our last qualifier before we take a break and then come back for LCQ a little bit later. The question will be, does he just try to qualify, or does he try to, is it hero or zero for Michael Tribino? Doesn't sound like he's holding back at all. Coming through that short course. You can see he's pushing that car really hard as he leaves the short course, says goodbye to Hammertown, heads out into the desert and up into the rock section. making quick work of that climb. You know, if you get a chance to qualify like this, you want to make the most of it. Lay it all out there. Try to get up near the front, because if not, you're just going to be stuck at the back, eating dust for a little bit of time. And he is back. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for watching the first round of 4,400 qualifying for the Nitto King of the Hammers powered by Optima. Coming up at 3, Brittany, what do we got?
We have our last chance qualifier coming up at 3 p.m. and immediately following at 4, we have Power Hour. Tell us about Power Hour.
Power Hour is where the biggest names in the business are going to come out and lay it down. Everyone's going to be looking for that coveted pole position and hard charger award to get them a good spot in the race. So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of action. Thanks everyone for watching. And always, if you're not here, I don't know where you are.
Are you searching for a new hands-on career in metal fabrication and welding? Ignite your career and let the Fab School help you get on the right track to a career in the metal fabrication and welding industry. Get the training you need with industry professionals and start your new career in as little as 7 months.
With the small classroom sizes, I really get to work one-on-one with my instructors and get the hands-on training that I need.
Call today and we'll get you on the right track. 1-877-411-WELD or on the web at thefabschool.com. That's thefabschool.com.
We didn't just test the new Optima Yellow Top with PureFlow technology, we tortured it. King of the Hammers is 181 battery-killing miles of relentless, unforgiving hellishness. It's one thing to call yourself the ultimate power source. It's another thing to prove it. The all-new Optima Yellow Top with pure flow technology with up to 3 times the battery life. Unsurpassed performance built to fit today's vehicles. Optima, the ultimate power source.
No matter where your ride takes you. Whether it's a quick trip or a slow climb. When you choose RCV Performance Axles, you're guaranteed to finish every time.
Steelite polyurethane coating has become the choice of leading off-road builders and race teams who recognize the coating's superior performance, protecting suspensions, chassis, and other metal parts that require a proven durable shield against corrosion. Steelite's weldability is a signature benefit that saves racing teams hours of repair time. Steelite provides remarkable performance, making it easier to get back out onto the race course. Use Steelite to protect your investment.
So King of the Hammers, it's the toughest one-day race in the world as far as I'm concerned.
When you need your winch, that's the only thing that matters. It's about getting to the finish line first. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Hammer King Productions is pleased to announce Armada as the official industrial machine partner of Ultra 4 Racing and King of the Hammers 2018. Armada machines are utilized by top fabricators as important tools for innovation and the evolution of Ultra 4 vehicles and customized parts. Come join us on the leg bed in Hammertown to see these innovative tools showcased and demonstrated at the 2018 Nitto King of the Hammers.